Kids, I tell you, you guys over here, you're looking mighty positive. I'm feeling over here, it might be a little negativity, but it can't be more than one or two mice. I know, I just got maybe three. Uh, well, it's all right. I still like you. Sit down. I got something for you. Both of yous. Everybody. So what do we got? I got to recant something. I was going to go right to eighth grade, but then I thought one of my segments I had, my dad changed the whole town of Raritan, New Jersey. Well, that sounds pretty positive, but it wasn't quite truthful, and I want to stay as truthful as I can. And if I remember something I misspoke on, I want to tell you I was wrong. Boy. Okay, Uncle Bo, my other uncle, Uncle Bo, Uncle Lou, and we were going to fish. We were going fishing. I couldn't have been more than I don't want to think about 9, and he he said he pulls up to, that's what I'm saying. That's how I can recant. We pull up to Nanny and Gramps'. It was in Raritan. I don't think it's miles from where we were on the other side of town, where the pharmacy was and St. Joseph's was. This is by a park more toward another part of town. So I'm thinking, gosh, I said the whole town. And I hate to recant that because, and as I'm thinking, Uncle Bo, we're going to go to 2 bridges to go fishing. We pull up. Off to the right is Nana Gramps' place upstairs, and he says, I'm going to be a minute, and don't touch anything in the car. So I said, okay, I won't touch anything. Well, he must have been more than a minute, 2-3 minutes, and well, I'm sitting on the passenger side, and there's a glove compartment right in front of me. So I said, hey, wait, I wonder what's in the glove compartment. You know, kids, you know how you are. You're inquisitive. Opened up the glove compartment. I have my hands in there to see what's in there. I look to the right. Here's Uncle Bo looking at me. He says, what are you doing? I got my hands caught in the cookie jar in his glove compartment where I'm not supposed to be. He's red-faced. You remember? What was I saying? Remember when I never saw him red-faced like that. I'm saying, what do you remember? So he comes around. I thought maybe we're not going to go fishing, but he gets in the car and we drive off, and he says, I told you not to get in that. I told you not to touch anything. I know. I was caught. So I said, no, I'm sorry. And he says, and I wasn't thinking about this until just a little bit ago, to where, well, a lot of things came up, but he said he wanted to hit me. I knew he wanted to hit me, but he couldn't. It was just one of those things. You can't hit a kid for not doing anything except not listening to you. So I didn't think about it then until everything comes together. And he says to me immediately after that, he says, you know, when you were a baby, you were eating poo. And I remember the worst scenario, and we went through that already. I don't want to bring that up again. So he says, you were eating poo. I said, no, I don't think so. That wasn't me. And I didn't say it was my brother. I just did not admit it that it was me, because I don't remember anything like that. You know? And he says, no, you were in diapers, and you were eating poo. I said, there's no way. He says, it was you. I saw you. And I'm thinking later on, well, why didn't you stop me? What was Nanny doing? Did she forget to change my diapers? What was the reasoning behind this? Did she change my diapers and didn't take them? Maybe went for some new ones? I'm putting everything together. But he says, no, it was you eating poo. And I said, nah, there's no way. I'm saying, no, I don't think so. He says, it was you, and you were smiling, going to town. I'm saying, no, it wasn't me. And then we left it at that. All right. So here we are, years later, and I'm recanting this because I was thinking, just when I said Raritan being changed, I apparently had to be changed too. But I was enjoying myself, smiling, which made sense. I was born smiling, but I'm thinking, no. So I didn't say this at the time, but now I'm recanting this, and I'm saying, you know, I think he was being mean because I was in his glove compartment. Then I'm thinking, well, it had to be my brother, you know? And then I was thinking again, my brother wasn't even around. I was 22 months older. If I'm in diapers, See, when I was running across the room faster than you ever saw, excuse me, I wasn't in diapers. My brother was in diapers. So I was doing this, and I'm saying things happen, kids, where you do things and you forget about it sometimes. Well, that's something I don't want to remember, but I'm just saying. I guess on Planet Terrific, these things happen. So there was a positive and negative, I guess. I guess people do it. I hope they're not grown-ups in doing it. I was thinking, grown-ups do something like that? That's ridiculous. No grown-up would do that. Unless they thought it was chocolate cake or something. It would have to be an accident. Anybody would purposely do it. That's what I was just thinking, So, I had to tell you the truth about Raritan, and then that little stinking story came up. So there you go. I could have asked him though, what was I eating before? But these are things you want to ask earlier than later. So the other thing I said I was going to go right to 8th grade again, but then I thought I had a note from one of you kids that said, "You must be a saint," and I'm thinking, man, I don't want to ever be put that way. Surely I did play that part in 1st grade, St. Martin. But we all play parts on Planet Terrific. And we do play parts as a angel and a devil. And I'm sure in Hollywood, they're all angels, but some of them, they're playing devils. I don't know, they're pretty good actors, it seems like sometimes, I'm just thinking about it. So I was thinking also how Uncle Martin knows a whole lot of stuff, all right? And I feel that I at 18 have consciously want to go this way, positive. But as we all know, there's temptations, there's all this stuff on Planet Terrific that, well, you're going to go negative. That's the way it goes. So in that perspective, I want to put it totally clear on this. Between 4 and 5 years now, Uncle Martin did something so negative that he lost his best friend. And I don't know if she'll ever come back. It wasn't anything physical, but it was definitely on humor. That's important. We thought pretty similar. So humor, similar, and spiritual, pretty much there. Not physical, but that's how relationships can be. It doesn't have to be physical. So I did something so negative that I want to put that out there, and I didn't want to do this, but I just want to show you that it can happen at any age, at any time in your life. So this is what happened to Uncle Martin. I guess I was driving at the time, and I had a situation where she was a rich individual and a lot of money, and she knew that I needed some help in this situation. So she says, "You know what? I see the situation here." Her exact words were, "I can help you. I can help you on this." Uncle Martin's mind was, she's going to give me. And so this is how minds work sometimes, even when you know all that you think you know. So here she said she's going to help me. So this is fantastic. So it was like a couple weeks later, she hands me a $500 check. I'm saying, fantastic. It's just what I need. And then she says, and by the way, she didn't say she wanted the money back. She just said, well, maybe, I don't know, go grocery shopping for me sometime, ride to the airport. Yeah, so we'll work it off. And I said, nah. And her eyes went, no. And I didn't really recognize what that really meant, that facial expression. I should have, I guess. But again, I was justifying. When we want to hear what we hear, kids, that's what we hear, even though we think it's positive, but it's really negative, and we don't know until later, see? So I said, nah, I don't think so. And then I gave her a hug, a little kiss on both sides, and yeah. And then, I don't know, she went, yeah. I'm thinking, yeah, well, it's time to go. All right, fine. So I get in the car, whatever, and when I got in the car, I put on the bottom of the check because it's a gift. That's what my mind was saying, a gift. I even put on the bottom of the check, gift. So I thought maybe tax purposes would be a little easier for it. Go to the bank, put it in, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I didn't hear from her for a while. So, in fact, I haven't heard from her for a while. But the point is that's what happens when you do these things that you didn't even realize you were doing until later. So later on, I think it was maybe about a year later, I thought this was the wrong thing to do. It was negative and not positive. So I said, what I'll do is I'll write her a letter and I'll get her a certified check for $1,000. And I thought, well, and then I wrote a letter. It was, I told her everything she already knew about me that I believed. And then I think I even put in, I grew up this, that, and I've grown up to understand, know thyself, and blah, 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 blah. But as I recant now, that I never said, I'm sorry that I hurt you. See, I didn't even think that I was hurting her feelings. I just thought, I paid her back, and I wrote her, I thought, a fine letter. And then I was thinking again, man, what's the matter with you? You hurt her feelings. And do no harm, do no harm, do no harm as far as hurting someone's feelings. So I don't know. I can't say any names, so that's what Uncle Martin did, which was very negative. Sure, I know it was negative now, but at the time I was justifying see, kids, you can always justify no matter what especially, you usually justify when you're doing something negative. See, that's the other thing I learned. So there's all these learning things that even now that I didn't recognize. So, well, the other thing is, the more you know, of course, the less you judge, but the more you know, and you're going positive, you got more responsibility. So, as with money, when you have money, you have to have a responsibility. Another thing, you don't spend like a drunken sailor, they say. So there's all these things that come in on different knick-knack things. Then I was thinking also for you kids, another analogy might help you. You see somebody come in to the room, schoolroom. They have a bag of candy, and it's a fractions. Let's just say it's a half a bag of candy. Keep it simple. Half a bag of candy, and you're sitting over there, and you say you don't know where your candy is, and boy, that's true. That's the bag I have. Same lettering, and the kid's your friend. So the kid comes over, sits next to you, and you say, "Hey, that looks like my bag of candy." And they say, "No, it's not your candy. I just went and bought this candy." And then you say, "No, that's let me see what's inside." You open the bag. That's exactly the same kind of candy I bought yesterday. You got my candy. No, it's not candy. I had this candy. I bought it yesterday. And so you're friends and you got the same candy, you got the same taste and everything. So what the heck? So now you're saying, at recess, you're saying, I want my candy. And they're going to say, no, that's not your candy. So what are you going to do? You're okay. Hopefully you're going to never start a fight. You're not running from anything, but you're the one who's accelerating this, and you're saying, now you give me that candy, or you're gonna break rule number one, first rule, and you say I'm gonna beat you up. Well, you're a bully, obviously, but you don't know that, so you're saying, yeah, I want my candy. It's not your candy, so you're gonna have a fight. You give your friend a black eye. Now you're not friends anymore, so you take the candy. Not only you take the candy, he doesn't get any. Everybody else you share with. Hey, he's got the candy, and so now you're sharing his candy. Boy, that doesn't look very positive. So, you get home, you ate the candy. You have dinner, pork chops, applesauce, corn on the cob, very tasty. And then you watch your cartoons, go to bed, take your slippers off. Hopefully you said your prayers. Yeah, you're saying your prayers. And you're putting your slippers under, and your slippers hit something, and what happens? It's your bag of candy. How does your heart feel about that? Can't be very positive unless you have no heart. You do have a heart, by the way. Some have to work on theirs a little more, as we all do. But you feel really terrible. So you go back to school. Not only do you go back to school, but before you go to school, you go to the candy store, you buy a candy, and you double the candy. And you go in and you're sitting next, maybe the person's not sitting in the same area. So at recess, you come over and say, here you go. They'll take the candy. And they don't want to be your friend anymore. And you don't know why. And you're telling them all the things that you believe to be true, which happen to be true. and it doesn't matter. That person doesn't really want to have anything to do with you now because you've even though you've doubled what you've given them, you're a different person in their eyes that they'll never appreciate you again unless they have a really big heart and they're able to forgive you, which would be amazing, a miracle. And let alone another miracle would be that they would love you. That would be the miracle. And that's what we're all here to do, forgive and love. You know how easy that is? It's almost impossible in some situations, especially if someone's really hurt you, all right? That I guess that's your test, to forgive someone that's hurt you. And whatever they've done, whatever it is, kids, someday hopefully you can forgive them. That's what it comes down to. All right, let's get rid of that. Let's do just one more analogy. We get out of the car. You're out of the car. Mom says, Dad says, somebody says, go get a shopping cart. We're gonna go to shop. And you run out there. You're running. Another kid's looking, and you're both running to the same shopping cart. There's only one, nothing else. And you're there first, but it's really close. It could be a tie, but you are first. And you grab it, and the kid says, give me that cart. And you say, no, I'm first. And you say, no, I'm first. You really don't know. And now, you're not going to break rule number one because you know the rules now, but he's going to have a fight with no problem. So you're going to assess, are you going to break the rule, or is there another way? The other way would be go get another shopping cart, or ask him, within your heart, sir, would you feel that you were really here first? And give him an option. And he'll say, nah, I guess you were here first. You take the shopping cart. That would be great if you could work it out that way. But it's more going to be likely he's going to say, I was here first. And you'll say, all right, I think I was. But you know what? You can take your shopping cart. He'll be happy as pie leaving. Maybe he'll have something to think about. Now, mom and dad or guardian is going to say, where's the shopping cart? There are no shopping carts in this whole place. I told you to get a shopping cart. And you tell them, well, it could have been a fight there, so I figured I'd let them have it. And they're going to say, good job. Or they're going to say, I don't know. I would hope they would say good job. So now the worst scenario is you go, there's no shopping carts, and now you got to go in the shop, and there's no shopping. Okay, positive scenario. There is more shopping carts inside. Worst scenario, there is none. You have to wait for somebody to come out with a load of groceries. All right, you're going to go follow them to the car, and you take the shopping cart, and hey, Mom, it's going to be a minute. I'll go help these people with the packages. Perfect. That would be a really positive thing to do, kids. So that would be that scenario. And then I'm thinking, this happened like a couple of months ago to Uncle Martin. I'm thinking, I didn't think about it until just right now. I'm not going to say the story, but they had a bunch of lines. I happened to get in the shortest line. And as I get there, it's a race between me and my goodies and this lady with her goodies, but she's in this little, the brum, brum, brum. I guess she wasn't walking too well, so you're in those little cart things that move you around. So she's getting there, and I'm there, but I'm first. I'm like there, but she shows up. And then she starts yelling very loud. I was here first! And I'm looking at her saying, there's no way you were here first. I was first. And she's saying, I was first. And everybody's now looking at us. And I'm looking at, this lady's in the cart. She's got situations to work with. But I'm first. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to give this up, all right? Until ask her this one question. I said to her, simply this. Ma'am, within your heart, would you say, honestly, you were here first? And she wouldn't answer me. She just kept saying, I was here first, like 3 times. And when I kept asking her from her heart, she told me 3 times she was here first. And I'm thinking, what kind of heart does this lady got? Well, she's got issues. So I'm thinking, this is very important to me now since I know what I know. So I said, you know what? I don't care. I am concerned. And I want you to take my spot. And she wouldn't do it. She wouldn't do it. So that's what I'm saying. In her heart, she knew she was wrong. She would not admit it. But she knew that she could not take my spot because I was asking her an honest question. From your heart, was this the right thing to do? And she wouldn't do it. So I said, okay, I'm willing to let you go first. Loud enough so everybody sees it. I'm not picking on a lady with the cart. Come on. Everybody has different issues on this planet Earth. That's what I was saying, kids. When somebody's pigeon-toed big nose, big head, big ears. Forgot about the big ears. I'm right-handed. I was right-handed, right-footed, pigeon-toed, and I didn't know that until one of my girlfriends, Sue, said, "You're pigeon-toed." I think, no, I won the 50-yard dash a lot of times. She says, "You look," and I looked down. I was a little right-handed pigeon-toed. So I'm saying, whatever you got, you're able to fix if you put your mind to it. You put your intent on fixing whatever you got. And I'm not saying go to the doctor and do it. I'm saying there might be another way to look at it. I'm not going to go there now, but over the years, being conscious of what I had to work with, I'm not walking pigeon-toed anymore. Hey, maybe it's just a coincidence, maybe. So I wanted to tell you that situation just so that we understood there's a lot of different ways of looking at things, no matter how young you are. And I got to get that out of the way. Old, young, old, young. Old is negative, young is positive. But you ask people, they look 83, 95, probably like you say, Uncle Martin does. But they say, the next thing, how young do you feel? That's the question. And they'll say, I feel like I'm 50. and you ask Uncle Martin, how young do you feel? Well, I feel 34, 34.7. Hey, that's a spiritual number, isn't it? It keeps popping up. So it's how you feel. How do you feel? The way, and I just want to throw out there was an actor, I can't remember his names, faces perfect. The guy, he played in 2 movies I remember, Babes in Toyland. It was that guy, the guy that was the guy with more experience that was making toys, and that guy, I can't remember. And then Mary Poppins, they all went over to some house, and they're up in the air. That guy, he was having a real negative situation. Nobody was he was an actor, and no one was hiring him anymore. They were saying, he's too old. We don't want you. Go away. You're too old. Well, he was getting really down in the dumps, looking down. I guess he wasn't looking up. And he was, apparently a wise person came up to him and said, it's the way you look at things. And when you look at yourself as feeling younger rather than older, things happen. So all of a sudden, he changed the way he was thinking. And in that thought process of changing from old, changing to young, thought-wise, he got Babes in Toyland, he got Mary Poppins, and I think it came up that way somewhere. I had heard about it. I think I read about it. Well, this is later after my high school. See, Uncle Martin, again, did not break Dad's promise until the 2 weeks I had to graduate. It was very close. And believe me, boy, I think that could be a movie. The Indian thing on the cave stuff, absolutely. So it's all your perception on the way you think. Are you thinking positively? Are you thinking negatively? Are you thinking you're old? Are you thinking you're young? It all matters. Are we gonna limit ourselves? Are we gonna limit other people? It's always our free choice on which one we do. That's what I'm saying. Uncle Martin's saying, just pick something. Pick positive, pick negative. You little mice in the middle, please get out of the middle. Unless you're walking the middle way. That's perfect. That's the razor's edge. It's easy to fall off that either way. See, Uncle Martin thought he was working really positive there until he did that justification thing and really learned that I was not looking in as positive a direction as I swore I was. See? So it all comes around like that. So how old you are, it's really tough, kids. I mean, you preschoolers and kindergartners, you're going to have a whole easier foundation to work on when you see it this way than people in a situation where they've had more experience. You high school kids, you college kids, you're going to have a pretty good handle on this. When you guys get up to dad, mom, that may be sitting in, I don't know. Grandma and grandpa probably they have nothing else to do. They're probably saying, who is this Uncle Martin? And you're saying, oh, that's Uncle Martin, anonymous and no limitation. And they say, that's a crazy name. Oh, yeah, that's what he's going by. That's his handle. So as long as I can, I will. And then, I don't know, it's like, we always look at things differently when we have two sides to look at. When we only hear one side, we can't discern if there is another side. And that's why I think there's people here on Planet Terrific that's here to help everyone maybe to see that there are both sides. And I'm going to say, you know, when I was in my fourth grade, there was nothing I could do with my teacher except, would you like an A? I would love an A. Well, just follow what's in the book. I said, oh, I didn't know that. And then I didn't get any more D minuses. See you kids in high school, you know how to play the game now. College kids that might be around, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 mites, 3 mites. You guys are going to have a real challenge because there's a lot of stuff I hear going on in college that you just don't get to hear both sides. You hear one side. You don't hear both sides. And when you try to go your side, boo, boo, or somebody comes out with a hood and stops you from talking. So who would have the fortitude, the tenacity? That's an inner strength that I learned what did I learn in 8th grade? How to fight, how to not deal with bullies? Yeah, absolutely. But there's other things the nuns threw out there that I didn't realize until way, way, way later, that fortitude and tenacity is one of those things that is very important. So you kids in college, forget about, depends how, I would say physically strong would be nice. Being tall, absolutely. Or you could be a small mouth with a lot of inner strength, and you're going to stand your ground. I guess up to a point, unless there's a big mob. And even then, I think if you stand fearlessly, they might leave you alone. Maybe not, but I'm not saying it. You might have some arm wrestling to do. Hopefully you're swinging on a rope or climbing a rope by this time, college kids. Definitely do your push-ups, chin-ups, pull-ups. All this stuff comes in. Hopefully you've done all that since preschool, kindergarten. Who knows? You might have been just one of those kids running home to the computer. I don't know, but you college kids, you know who you are, where you stand. It might be possibly best just not to say anything, but have your own views. And then when you get out of college, you go into politics or some place where you're able to change some rules, laws, and work that on that level. So there's all different ways of doing it. It's just that sometimes it's good to stand up. Sometimes it's good to sit down. That gal that was screaming, "There are no shamans!" Well, then her big brother was saying, step out. And that music, I'm thinking, he doesn't want to do that Indian dance with me. And, you know, nothing against two guys dancing. You know, that's what I'm saying. I prefer a woman. But that's what I'm saying. Everybody has their own tastes. Do no harm, do no harm, do no harm. Do not even hurt someone's feelings. If you're calling somebody gay or whatever they're calling people these days, big head, big ears, pigeon-toed, big nose, it's hurting their feelings, and it's not positive. So I don't know. I'm just trying to put it out there. Like, everybody has something to learn on whatever level it is, and we're all at different stages on Planet Terrific. And let's just say, you know, like, okay, a kindergartner is rolling around in the mud, and some people say, he's got to learn to know what that mud is, so he's got to roll around in it. And I don't know. I've looked at it like, not that I've ever rolled around in mud, but I've seen that it's not necessary. Maybe some people have to roll around in the mud, but you don't have to go in the mud, roll around to know you're going to get dirty, okay? So in that case, you're a kindergartner's doing it, and you're like first, second, third, high school. You don't stand around, he's rolling around in the mud, he's a little pig, yeah. Well, that's a little negative. Positive would be, get the kid out of the mud and say, hey, let's go clean up, man. You look a mess. And then the kid's going to say, well, I feel pretty positive. And you say, no, that's not a positive thing. It's rather negative. When you get home, you may get a spanking. But, you know, maybe, I don't think so. You kids don't get spankings anymore. I know you don't. So why go there? It's too negative. Unless you're doing something really naughty. Like you're not looking both ways, to the right, to the left, when you're crossing the street. Hey, if I had any kids when I was watching you do that from a 3-story, second story, and I couldn't get to you because cars were going by, you lived, I probably would run after you if you were my child and give you a spanking. But you might just let the kid go, come home, and recant what he did. Well, I didn't do that. Oh, I watched you do that. I got a black belt for you. You know, something like that. That would be appropriate, parents, right? Rather than just start hitting your kids for because maybe you were hit and you keep going whatever that negative thing that was happening to you you're going to do to your child, which would be negative. See what I'm saying? Okay, I've run out of time again. Gosh darn it! And I promise I'll get back to that 8th grade. I will. It's just really a cute story. Until then, aloha. Be well.